guys, and welcome back to another video. If you're not subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button down below, the all notification bell to the right hand side. I want to make sure everybody knows right off the bat that I'm not a CPA, I'm not a tax preparer or tax expert, and I do not work for the IRS. But I wanted to make this video to better explain the $600 tax law that Biden signed into law for online resellers and online sales. And if you probably already know what I'm talking about, but I wanted to break it down more and tell you step by step on what each and everything means. I know there's a lot of videos out there that don't break it down, and some people are still confused on what is what. Now, if you are working for an employee, I want to tell you that there's two different taxes that are taken out of the money that you make. One of them being FICA. Now, when we work with someone else, for someone else, like if you work at Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King, whatever the case may be, if you're employed by another person, they take out what is called FICA tax. Not only do you get FICA tax taken out of your check, but you get state tax and you get federal tax taken out of your work check. Now, keep in mind that state and federal tax, there's always a chance that you might get money back, depending on how big your family is, what kids you claim, and things like that. Sometimes you will get back more than what they took out in state. Sometimes you will get back more than what they took out in federal. Sometimes you will end up owing. It all depends. However, the FICA tax you do not get back from the IRS. You do not get it back from Social Security. And what FICA is it goes to pay for the Social Security program, and it goes to pay for Medicare, and it goes directly to the government. Now, the thing people don't understand, when you're employed by someone else, your employer actually pays half of each tax, and you pay the other half out of your check. So, what is that percentage? Well, for Social Security tax, it is 12, a little over 12% out of your check. But what happens is your employer pays for 6% and you pay for 6%. Same way with Medicare, they pay Medicare tax, half of the Medicare tax. You pay the other half of Medicare tax out of your paycheck that you receive from your employer. However, when you are self-employed, that means you are paying the whole tax yourself. And that is 12 point something percent plus 2 point something percent from Medicare. And that means you are paying 15.3% in SECA taxes. That's what it's called. It's called self-employment tax, and you do not get that back. Where does that go? Well, that goes to help pay for the SSI program. It goes to help pay for SSDI. It goes to help for Medicare programs. It goes directly to the government. Now, not only are you paying taxes and helping people that are on SSI, SSDI, or in retirement, this is also going towards your retirement and your Medicare funds. So that means that you may get back more in retirement if you work more hours and pay more into the system. But like I said, FICA is something that you do not get back. And when you're self-employed, you're supposed to be paying self-employment tax, and that self-employment tax is 15.3%. So let's say you made $1,000 for the year, you would have to pay 15.3% of that $1,000 for the year to the IRS. That is something that goes to the Social Security and the Medicare government, and you do not get that back. Now, whether you pay more taxes, federal taxes, state tax on all the money you make, it depends on how much you make. And as we all know, online resellers were actually not claiming taxes. A lot of people weren't claiming taxes, and that's why Biden wanted to nip this in the bud, and he made it so if anybody makes $600 or over, the platforms now like eBay, Mercari, Etsy, whatever the case may be, are required to send a 1099-K to the IRS. So what does that mean? That means that the IRS is going to get proof. If you make $700, IRS is going to know you made $700. If you made $10,000, IRS is going to know you made $10,000, and you have to pay taxes on that, and they will come after you for it. However, a lot of people were getting around this because, as we all know, before the limit was $20,000 in 200 transactions. So that means if somebody had $10,000 in sales online on eBay, Etsy, Mercari, whatever the case may be, IRS was not getting proof of this, so of course they weren't coming after people for taxes. So of course people weren't paying taxes. Were they supposed to be paying taxes? Yes, they were. If you make $400 or over in a year in profit, you're supposed to be paying taxes on that money. Like I said, you're supposed to be paying the self-employment tax. Now, self-employment tax does not include state or federal. You may have to pay more into them. Will you get that money back? It's possible that you can get that money back. Will you end up owing? Well, it all depends on how many people you have in your family and how much you make in your business. Now, this goes for freelancers and people that sell online, the new $600 tax law. But even if you were making $500 before, you were supposed to be paying taxes on that $500. You were supposed to be paying the SECA tax. Now, of course, you could take out the prices to buy your items and things like that. You can do your deductions and things like that. If you do not make a profit or you're selling not to make a profit, then that is a little bit different. But if you're doing business on a regular, if you're selling on eBay as a regular, if you're selling on Etsy, Mercari, whatever the case may be, that is like a regular business and you're doing it for profit. So you're supposed to be paying taxes on that. And now the IRS will know when you're making $600 or more because they will get the 1099K form. Now, I know there's a lot of small businesses out there that this basically has screwed, but these people weren't paying taxes. A lot of people weren't paying taxes on their sales because they did not hit that threshold. And basically, that's why Biden wanted this new $600 tax rule because, of course, it's going to make more taxes for the government. It's going to make more percentages going towards Social Security and to Medicare tax. And like I said, this helps pay for your Medicare when you get older, and it helps pay for your retirement, or if you're working on a job and you become disabled, it helps to go to that program. And that's basically what you're paying for when you're paying SECA taxes. That's what you're paying for when you pay FICA taxes. Like I said, the only difference is when you're working for someone else and you're an employee, you pay half, they pay half. If you are working for yourself by reselling online or self employment, that means that you have to pay the whole tax out of your money, plus any state and federal tax that you may owe, because the IRS will get proof of all of this. So, my suggestion to you is if you are in business and you run a small business, you need to keep track of your records. You need to keep track of what you buy, how you get your product, where you get your product from, how much you paid for it, and things like that. You need to keep records of all these things. Now, if you're looking for a good program to keep records of all these things, GoDaddy Bookkeeping is not that much to invest in. And GoDaddy Bookkeeping is very good because you could hook your eBay up to it, other selling platforms up to it, and you can actually hook your bank account up to it, and it will give you each and every transaction that comes out of your bank account that goes into your bank account. It will give you each and every it'll give you each and every action that it takes. Okay, so if you go and you buy something to resell, it will keep track of that. And it's a very good program, GoDaddy Bookkeeping. There's probably some other bookkeeping sites out there. I know there is QuickBooks and things like that that people use. And it's up to you on really what you want to do. You can go to your regular tax preparer and you can ask them about this, or your regular bookkeeper and ask them about this, and they will probably explain the same thing to you. But I wanted to explain to everybody out there because there was times that I was working for an employer and I was getting FICA taken out of out of my paycheck, and I didn't know what FICA was for. And usually it's a pretty big amount. I mean, 15.3%. towards FICA tax is quite a bit of big amount. I mean, $1,000. If you made $1,000 in a year, that's about $90 out of the $1,000. And I always wondered what FICA was for, and that's basically what it's for. It goes to the government programs to pay Social Security Administration and Medicare for people that are on Medicare. It goes towards SSI people, it goes towards SSDI people, and it goes to retirement. And not only does it pay for others SSI, SSDI, or retirement, it pays for you for when you get older. In case you become disabled on the job, that's what FICA is. You're putting taxes in to pay for that program to pay you when the time comes. And SECA is basically the same thing. The only difference is it's self-employed and you are paying the whole tax out of the money that you make. So, like I said, I'm not a tax preparer, I'm not a tax professional, but I wanted to explain this better to people, and I think this better explains it. And like I said, if you need to keep books, you better start keeping books if you haven't already, because now the IRS will get confirmation on how much you make. If you make $600, even if you're making $400 before Biden signed this into law, you are still supposed to be taking taxes out of your money that you made, whether it be self-employment or freelancer, whatever the case may be. You were supposed to be taking taxes out anyways. I know there was a lot of resellers that weren't and figured they can get around it by not paying because the IRS had no proof of this. But now remember, the IRS is going to get proof of it. So you want to make sure you keep your records. You want to make sure you talk to your tax preparer. You want to make sure you talk to your bookkeeper, CPA, whatever the case may be, if you need to know more information. If you would like to comment on this video, please leave a comment and let me know what you think about the new tax law. I know there's a lot of small businesses out there that are closing down now, and a lot of small online resellers that are stopping the reselling online because they don't want to go through the whole thing with the tax thing. And I can say, yes, it's going to be complicated more for business owners or small sellers to go through this, because now if they make $600 or more online, they're going to have to do their own taxes, self-employment taxes, or they're going to have to pay someone else to do it. So it's going to be money coming out of their profit. They're not going to make a profit of $10,000 no more without having to pay anything. So keep that in mind and leave them a comment down below. If you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe down below, and I'll see you in my next video.